were 2 police officers. And I also understand there were 1 or 2 members from the SANDF, which is really, really very disheartening and worrying indeed. But over and above of that, we're also hearing that there are quite a number of foreign nationals that have been involved in this cash in transit heist, and they seem to be the masterminds behind these type of robberies that seem to be on the uptake in the country. Your thoughts?
Well, thank you very much. I think yes. What we have so far, noticed, or what has come to the fore, is basically that migrants, and particularly, the mastermind is one person from Botswana, and there are quite a lot of other people, according to the minister's statement, which he said is about 20 Zimbabweans. Though, of course, we know that that information has not been verified, because IPID then went on to say there were only 4 Zimbabweans, 4 South African, and 1, Botswana, man. And therefore, they could not verify, they have not yet verified the nationalities of those that were there. So to start with, it is a very sad day, for us, migrants living in South Africa, especially when migrants get involved in such, heinous crimes and come to become, masterminds and lead, such, gangs and criminals, because that soils, are the name of, migrants that are in South Africa working very hard to fend for their families. But as we have always said that, look, crime, does not, it's something that cuts across, it happens across the board, whether you're a migrant or not. And that is why, even from your stats, you can see that we've got people that are supposed to be protecting, the public, like the police and the South African National Defence Forces being involved. So it is very, very sad. And, we can only pray that, the law will take its course and justice served, and they will pay and get their justice that, for the evils that they have done to society.
Okay, so as we speak, we also, I'm sure you are aware, as is the rest of the country, that Operation Dudula is happening. And I guess that also adds another dimension to the problems of foreigners, legal and illegal. It could also, and I hope and pray it doesn't, but because tensions are now so high regarding unemployment, both amongst the locals and foreigners, that this could very easily spill into xenophobic violence. What is it that foreigners are doing to protect themselves? How do you go about building better relationships with South Africans? Do you kind of just remain under the radar? Because undoubtedly, information like the Rosettenville cash in transit heist, if it goes out, well, it is out in the mainstream now, automatically people are going to point fingers, and people like people involved in Operation Dudula are going to feel justified in doing what they're doing.
Very true. Twitter has gone crazy since 2 days ago, and put SA first. And Operation Dudula, they have found it's a feast day for them, and obviously they are finding more reason for them to call for the expulsion of migrants in South Africa, because they say, look, they have come here to commit crime, and this is why, one of the reasons why we're saying it is very unfortunate that the statistics that we've also received from the Minister of Police, who says that there are 25 criminals that were involved, 1 Botswana and 4 Zulu men from KZN or from KZN, which is South African, and then the rest, implying that 20 are Zimbabweans. And then we get the spokesperson of IPID, Miss Grace Langa, coming up and saying, but wait a minute, we only have got 4 arrested, Zimbabweans, and 4 South African, and
okay.
1.
Okay, Dr. Vusi, you have made that point a little earlier. What I'm trying to understand is, what do you at the forum, what do you believe needs to be done to dispel the myth that foreigners, legal and illegal, come with the intent of criminality into South Africa? How do you people interact to get a very positive message out to South Africans, and also the fact that you're not here to steal anybody's jobs?
Yes, the point that I wanted to make basically is that one, we are engaging to correct, misconceptions and information which is improper that may exacerbate, the hatred, towards, foreigners, because we feel that information that is inaccurate is the one, like the one that we have that raises statistics to such high levels, is obviously going to, incest, those people that are doing, these operations. So what we are basically doing is obviously engaging, and to clear the misconceptions and make people understand that we are fighting against crime. We're speaking to the commissioner already, of Gauteng, because we wanted to ascertain that where was the first appearance, of these criminals, are going to be taking place either in Boysens or Johannesburg, because what we wanted to do basically is to send a strong message to say, look, if a migrant is caught, committing crime, they must definitely, find themselves, facing the full.
Hello?
These activities, they affect us also negatively.
Okay, Dr. Vusi, I have one or two important questions which I'd like you to respond to before we wrap up. There's also the perception that foreigners, illegal foreigners, are involved in all sorts of criminal activity, drug manufacturing and peddling, human trafficking, prostitution, etc., etc. How often do you, and yesterday when this issue came up in my interview with Operation Dudula, I did correct that perception by stating it's not only foreigners that are involved in these criminality, it is also locals. But in terms of the forum, how often do you meet with foreigners, and what are you working at to dispel all of this? What do you believe can be done for you to integrate into South African society and make South Africans see that you're here, that foreigners are here with the right intentions and are here to serve the community and to uplift South Africa, rather than dragging it through criminality, all sorts of heinous crimes?
Well, look, I think one thing that I need to say is basically that it's very unfortunate that a lot of these allegations are allegations that come, without proper statistics, to support, those particular views that illegal foreigners are the ones that commit, these crimes. Because if we had accurate statistics, and if to do that, would really, be very helpful. But in any event, we are involved in a lot of, anti-crime operations in our own communities, encouraging our members and even those that do not have, documents, that particular offense of being illegal. We are encouraging them to regularize, their stay, and where they cannot, we are encouraging, self-led programs where we are going to expatriate these people or take them back to their countries, assist them with, skills maybe that they can do. And we are obviously looking at working with the IOM, to send these people back and make sure that at least, rather than stay in South Africa illegally, it is always better, to go back home and try and make a living there, especially those that are economic, migrants, because those that are political, refugees, we know that they are catered for by, the Refugees Act in South Africa. So we've got quite a multi-pronged approach in trying to ensure that we find solutions, to the issue of illegality on its own.
Okay, let's leave it there. I'm also hoping that you are working on some form of program where you can interact more with local South Africans and, form partnerships so that, foreigners and locals can live together in peace and harmony. And every time something goes wrong, fingers are not pointed at foreigners, unjustifiably so. So let's hope you've got that thinking around those issues and trying put programs in place so that we can better understand each other and live in peace and harmony.
Indeed. I mean, yes. I mean, we've started quite a number of programs, to work with, locals or natives. That is why, you will notice that even, for example, the Kopanang project, which is, working against xenophobia, it includes a lot of South African, CSOs and individuals. Remember, in about 2-3 years back, we spoke to the Premier of Gauteng, where we were proposing, through the social cohesion gains, and further than that, where we wanted, to see, business exchange programs where, foreign business or business that are owned by foreigners are going to take with them or partner with locals to exchange skills and take them in mentorship programs. Unfortunately, when elections, came and the rhetoric of the provincial government kind of changed, but we were hoping that it was going to finance, part of that program to make sure that, foreigners can work with locals in exchanging programs and understanding each other. But that is a very brilliant point, and we really want to engage further and exploit, that particular avenue.
Sounds like a marvelous plan to me, undoubtedly. Dr. Vusi Sibanda, Chairperson of the African Diaspora Forum, thank you for being on the show this morning, trying to dispel misconceptions against illegal foreigners regarding criminality. Always wonderful talking to you, and please make that plan work. It's very, very important, not only for foreigners, but for South Africans as well. Please go well. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
8:50 exactly. News and views right here on Salam Media. Please stay with us, and we are waiting for you to become a part of the conversation. You can hook up with us via WhatsApp, which is 061 766 0355.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate.